There's no limit to tragic stories in the anime universe, but above every single one of them, standing at the pinnacle of Arasaka Tower, is Cyberpunk Edgerunners. With more grief than Your Lie in April, more plot twists than Death Note, and somehow more story crammed into 10 episodes than One Piece achieved in 1,000. Edgerunners is just filled with so much love and genuine passion, and that's something you don't see in a lot of modern anime. The animation is so crisp, the storyline has real depth, and it puts twists you would never expect from what you think is an upbeat anime from the future. But in reality, Cyberpunk was a tragedy. The first time I ever watched Edgerunners, I was taken into a world that felt so far but so close to modern day life. Of course, there's plenty of differences that would never occur in real life. Yeah, I'm looking at you, sitting at your desk, no girlfriend having it. But after looking in and taking a deeper dive into this anime, I saw things that I could look at and say, oh, we have something like that in real life. And the biggest and only true guaranteed thing in both Edgerunners and the real world is death. Every episode has death, whether it be unexpected or something you saw coming. So whether it's something like cyberpsychosis, normal enemies, side characters, or main characters. Watching every main character die off one by one was a real shock and something I didn't expect. You get to watch the crew develop as characters and over time learn their dreams and aspirations in a life where no one truly gets to ever live them out. We see David, the quote-unquote main character, in the first episode, living a life full of despair and just trying to make it to the next day. And then in the last episode, we see him living out his mom's biggest wish for him. Or Lucy, who must have thought she was some mysterious nonchalant character, end up spilling her dreams to David in the second episode. Like, you just met this guy and now y'all are linking in bed together? I get it was a setup, but you would never catch me in that position. But besides that, I haven't even covered the other characters who died in the anime. Mainly my girl Rebecca, who was probably my favorite character. And towards the end, after she got the Atom Smasher treatment, I came to a realization. Whatever it is you take from all this death in the Cyberpunk universe, it's that almost no one gets to live out their dream. Throughout all the character deaths and everything that was spoken to one another throughout the episodes, only Lucy and Falco came out alive. And Lucy, I can understand living. She actually has plot value, but Falco? We saw this man like 3 times throughout the whole show and he didn't do anything besides drive everyone around, and he didn't even do that half the time. But you know what else I don't see half you guys doing? Joining the Discord me and my friend Kazi made. We talk about anime and even make videos with viewers, you know, when we actually upload.
That's a lot of discord.gg/Kajis y'all should join.
And if you're enjoying the video, consider subscribing. It would actually help a ton. I've seen hundreds of anime in my life, mostly because I'm a degen that has nothing really going on for myself. But out of those hundreds of anime, I've seen maybe 6 or 7 with animation that really stood out to me. I'm mainly talking about Kill la Kill and Frieren, and I'm aware there's way more anime out there that I have yet to see with stunning visuals and animations, but you know, I haven't seen them yet. So, both Kill la Kill and Frieren's visual team took huge steps in animation to have an extremely unique and enjoyable experience to watch. Kill la Kill's animation studio killed it when they were making this anime. Being able to have more rounded out hair and character designs while still making them have sharp features is definitely something that came as a shock to me. And they somehow balanced out having the bubbly character design with amazing backdrops and fight scenes. I mean, just look at this.
Let's hurry! Yeah!
And as for Frieren, well, I've already made a video on Frieren, so this will be brief, but if you want to check out that video, I'll put it in a link in the description. Frieren is a more laid-back anime, but the animation and visual design is probably one of the most innovative and consistent throughout anime. And throughout Frieren, it keeps a constant, soft feel to the visuals, making it feel relaxing, but still also having amazing fight scenes. But what would happen if you threw all of that out the window and did something different? Cyberpunk has no soft aesthetic or any bubbly animation, instead having more sharp and darker colors, most consistently around green or blue hues. It doesn't have any real bubbly animation or real upbeat vibes to it, but instead hard focusing on a dark tone, based around feelings of doom or loss. Which is perfect for the anime since that's basically what the whole show was. You're not supposed to feel happy when watching Cyberpunk, because both in the game and the anime, the whole plot is revolved around loss and dark undertones to make the consumer really feel the the emotion. And Edgerunners emitted that feeling perfectly while still keeping the animation peak. And after watching the anime a couple dozen times, I've noticed that the main part of Cyberpunk's animation is put into the fight scenes, which makes sense because it's an action-packed anime, but if you go back and watch the anime again, you'll really start to notice all these small details the animation team put in. Stuff that you wouldn't have noticed the first or second time watching Edgerunners, since you're mainly focused on the plot itself those first few watches. And there are anime that's comparable in Cyberpunk in terms of dark but still amazing visuals, like Serial Experiments Lane, which is an older anime, so the animations aren't exactly going to be up to par with modern visuals, but it still emits that dark, gloomy feeling, and in some scenes, it protrudes that vibe stronger than Edgerunners does. If you want a more in-depth video about Serial Experiments Lane, go check out Kazi's video he made on it. But all in all, the animation team went crazy on Edgerunners, and I can't give enough props to them. But let's focus on something even more important than the visuals, and that's the storyline itself. When you think of amazing anime storylines, there's a list 10 miles long of possible answers. You could say anime like Serial Experiments Lane, Vinland Saga, or maybe even My Hero Academia for some weird reason. But whatever you might be saying, there's always someone next to you that'll say the complete opposite. Well, Dragon Ball Z had the best storyline ever! And to the people that say that, what I need you to do, all joking aside, there's an unlimited way an anime can tell a story, whether it's getting rammed by a truck and spawning into a new world, living in a pre-existing world, or, I don't know, making a whole new world for yourself, I guess. But the one thing every anime in the world has in common is their storyline. Every anime has a storyline, with different arcs to separate those storylines, and almost all of them have their own exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. Now hearing that, you might be thinking, Miku, didn't you just describe like every anime in existence? Well, yes, but actually no. What if I were to tell you Cyberpunk had none of those sequences? Would you believe me? Probably not. But the reality of it is that Cyberpunk only has 3 of those 5 categories. The rising action, which was the buildup of David's cyberware, the climax, which was the fight at Arasaka Towers, and the falling action, which was Lucy and Falco driving away from everything. And yeah, you could say the resolution was seeing Lucy on the moon, but let's be real here, closing out that story like that did not make me feel content with the ending. A storyline built around the idea of death and no happy ending is something you rarely see in anime. I probably wouldn't even be able to name 3 if you asked me, but the one singular anime that I will always say has more sadness built into the story over any other anime is Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And that's a statement I'll live by till the day I die.